In Jujutsu Kaisen, Yuji Itadori is a mostly classic shonen character who is blessed with natural skill, very confident in himself, gained motivation from his uncle, and cares about other people above himself. He's a perfect introduction to this world, but as a character he lacks much in interest. In Jujutsu Kaisen 0, Yuta Okkotsu is blessed with natural skill, but unlike Yuji, he has little to no self-confidence and his motivation is to make and save friends that would give his life meaning. Oh, also, the girl who loved Yuta at the age of 10 got her head crushed in a car accident, and then she became a cursed spirit that hurt anyone who threatened Yuta. I'm not here to argue that one protagonist is better than the other. A character should be judged by their entire story, their highs and their lows. I have only seen Season 1 of JJK and also this film, both of which are fantastic, mind you. But what I am here to argue is that Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is a story that is full of hope. To do so, let's go mostly chronologically through the film, following our main boy, Yuta. Yuta had what most people can only hope for, a girl who genuinely loves him and an engagement at the age of 10. Rika and Yuta genuinely care about each other, and their time together is expanded upon throughout the story. But as aforementioned, Rika gets hit by a car and dies. The very beginning of the story already starts us off in a dreary way. Yuta's anguish as he cries out for Rika to stop attacking a group of boys is chilling. We don't know how long this has been going on for, but Yuta has tried to kill himself, so it has been bad enough for a long time. This is all made significantly worse because the one who is tormenting him only does it because she loves him. Rika's love has been so twisted that she is willing to kill others for Yuta. As Gojo says, love is the greatest curse. Actually, let's talk about Gojo for a second. Gojo is easily one of the most hopeful characters in this story, but hope does nothing without a vision, and Gojo definitely has one. In Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, his unwillingness to kill off the leaders because it would be too easy reveals how truly wise he is. This is why he places such an emphasis on his students. They're the next generation and he knows that. But what's even more telling is the reverence he has when speaking about them. He truly looks at them as sorcerers and as people, with no ego, but a hope that they eventually grow to surpass him. His dream is so intoxicating, it becomes impossible not to root for him. And this hope is also what causes Gojo to bring in both Yuji and Yuta. Yuta is terrified of hurting other people at the school, but little does he know these are the only people who could protect themselves from Rika. That's why this is the perfect place for him. And that comfort he begins to feel allows him to begin growing bonds with his classmates through battles and training. Yuta's mission with Maki acts as a more comfortable introduction to this world for Yuta. Not only that, but Maki is straightforward and truthful, helping Yuta see the truth in the situation. By the end of this mission, Yuta has saved them, and that wins over Maki, who was the most opposed to him being there. She's still closed off and secretive, but she gives him the introduction he needs to keep going and gain other friends. Up to this point, Yuta has been terrified of connecting with others. His only connection tied him with a significantly traumatic event. Rika was the last person he felt truly safe with, and that safety was violated. At this point in the story, Yuta begins to believe that he was the one to curse Rika, and not the other way around. Before going to Jujutsu High, Rika was the only thing keeping him alive, quite literally by saving him from others and halting his attempts at suicide. But she was also saving him more metaphorically. Yuta says that others are what give his life meaning, and for a long time the only person that cared for Yuta and gave him meaning was his childhood love, Rika. But now that he may be able to break the curse he put on her, him striving to do so simultaneously displays his love for Rika as he seeks to let her go, and the hope he now has for her life as he believes he will find others who give him meaning. And this hope is perfectly placed. At Jujutsu High, he has a teacher who is genuinely interested in helping him grow, but more importantly, he gains friends that he can joke with and be himself, which is why he protects them so fervently. When Suguru Geto arrives and starts talking to Yuta, his insult towards Maki instantly turns Yuta off to the idea of helping Geto. On a quick side note, I would talk about Geto and Gojo, but I feel like that deserves its own video, and I am nowhere near caught up with this story. So, with that said, let's hop close to the end of Jujutsu Kaisen 0 with the scene between Maki and Yuta. This scene represents how far Yuta has come since the beginning of the story. Maki finally opens up to him and is truthful about where she comes from and why she does what she does. Maki's past beat her down significantly more than she displays, so Yuta's willingness to help her in his own way represents exactly what she says that it doesn't. Yuta and everyone else there have accepted her for who she is. Another side note, this scene definitely makes me ship them. I don't know how to feel about that because, Yuta's relationship with Rika, but also Rika is technically still like 10. Anyways, who cares? Finally, Geto arrives, crushing Maki and then Panda and Toge. Just as Gojo expects, this causes Yuta to fight to his fullest extent against Geto. This fight is fantastic from both a storytelling and anime standpoint. The animation is beautiful and fluid, involving characters with interesting powers, and the score here keeps you hooked, but it only gets better as the fight goes on. Yuta is fighting to make sure his friends stay alive, and to make sure of that, he is willing to sacrifice himself, thereby also ending the curse he placed on Rika. This is one of the most impactful moments in JJK up to this point. Yuta still loves Rika, and this final act would forever release both of them as he offers to be with her forever. What he believes to be his final moments are only added upon by the music and meaning of his would-be sacrifice. But Yuta lives, and not only that, Rika returns to her natural form. Objectively, Yuta did place a curse on Rika and stopped her from crossing over peacefully for 6 years. Even so, Rika says these were the happiest years of her life, and she thanks Yuta, wishing him a long life. Finally, the last thing we see is Yuta going on a trip with his classmates and Gojo, as he's still holding on to Rika's ring. The story told throughout Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is one that displays despair and misery, but out of those experiences comes success and growth. Gojo once had a best friend that betrayed him, Maki was rejected by her family for something she couldn't control, and Yuta cursed his childhood love after she was killed in a car accident. But we're shown that the future can be better and a place for growth. Gojo accepts his friend's change and was the one to end his life. Maki is accepted into a found family who genuinely cares for her. But most notably, Yuta grows from a kid who is scared to leave his past behind to someone that is striving to grow with his friends into the future. This idealism for hope displayed by creator Gege Akutami is as intoxicating as Gojo's dream, and it gives us, the audience, something just as important to strive for. And that's all for this week. Thank you guys very much for watching. Next week, I should have a video on a commander and humanity's strongest soldier. That is, if I get all my thoughts together straight. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I have been your host, Silas Jackson. This has been Recency Bias, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.